Hey all, welcome back. Today I'm going to just do a quick comparison of what you get with two guitars, a compare contrast. There's no playing. I have demos on both of these guitars on the channel, so this is just going to be my perspective as to the pluses and minuses of each guitar. First off is the Jet JS-400 Strat style guitar. And then right next to it is the newer, in my collection, MMUSI Capricorn Fusion. So let's take a look at both of these guitars. Okay. Now, first off, the Jet JS-400 you can still purchase. It is still available, brand new, on the Jet website, as well as specific dealers that resell Jet guitars like Sam Ash and the likes, right? Then over here, the MMUSI is a guitar that was sold largely through Amazon, and I believe they are now no longer selling these guitars, these Capricorn Fusion guitars. So it's an older model. I'm not sure if they have any plans for getting back into selling guitars again, because it appears they don't have a website, that they're not even transacting at this point in time. But they are very similar guitars, so I just want to show you, compare and contrast the two of them. So let's take a look at, first off, the Jet, the JS-400. That guitar, from a weight standpoint, comes in right at about 7 pounds. The MMUSI Capricorn, I'm just going to call it a Capricorn from this point in time, weighs in at 7.6 pounds. So it is slightly heavier than the Jet. And I think that's largely due to the fact that the Capricorn has an alder body. That's the wood is alder, whereas the Jet JS-400 is basswood. And basswood typically is a lighter wood. So I believe that is the reason why. From a neck standpoint, both of these guitars have roasted maple necks. I'm just going to bring this a little closer so I can grab it. You can see here they both have roasted maple necks. Fretboard. Now, this Jet JS-400 has also a roasted maple fretboard, whereas the Capricorn has a rosewood fretboard. So that's the first major difference between the two guitars. The Jet has what's described as a modern C neck. It's not super thin. I wouldn't say it's thick, but it is a full neck. It's described as a modern C neck. The Capricorn has a slim C neck, so it's noticeably thinner and slimmer than the Jet neck. Similarly, the radius is also different, right? The Jet has a 9.5-inch radius, a standard Stratocaster style guitar radius, 9.5 inches. This guy, the Capricorn, has a compound radius on the neck. So it starts out at 10 inches in the cowboy cord neck of the, part of the neck. And then as you go down into shred area and territory, it becomes 14 inches flatter. So that is a compound radius as opposed to just a static 9.5-inch radius on the Jet. The nut on both guitars are bone, so they both have bone nuts. They both have 22 medium jumbo frets. Now, this is another major difference, or different between the two guitars, is this guy here, as you can see, the truss rod is right here. Well, what am I pointing to, guys? Right there, at the base of the headstock, where most truss rods are. On the Capricorn, It's right here. It's a wheel. You can see that right below the neck is a wheel. So it's an easy access truss rod adjustment, which I like. I like. It's a nice, neat, easy convenience feature on the guitar. The other major difference between these two models is this guy, the Jet, has ceramic pickups. The Capricorn has Alnico pickups. So, for whatever it's worth, and I'm going to go over all of this stuff as a summary. That's another point of differentiation, right? The headstocks are obviously different. This is the headstock on the Jet. A little bit of a hook, right? They can't go too close to Fender, otherwise they get in trouble. But that's their headstock. It's a lot of copycats or Strat-style guitars have a similar headstock. This guy's headstock here has the contour in it, right? Not unlike some West Creeks in terms of the headstock look. And even Grote has come out with some of their guitars with this kind of a look, right? Leo James has come out with some guitars with this kind of a look. So that's becoming popular as well. Now, let's go down. 2-point trem on this guy. 2-point trem on the Capricorn. They both have tremolo bars or tremolo arms that push in. There's no screw in. They pop in and pop out, right, on both guitars. Bridges. This is your typical Strat style bridge on this Jet. The bridge on this guy is a little bit more solid. It's a little more heavy duty than the bridge on the Jet. One volume, one tone, 5-way switch on the Jet. One volume, one tone, 5-way switch on the Capricorn. However, the tone knob is a push-pull, so you can split the humbucker, whereas the Jet doesn't have coil split. Frets. These are nickel frets on the Jet. On the Capricorn, they have rounded edge stainless steel frets on this guitar. Tuners. You can see basic sealed tuners with Jet stamping on them on the Jet. These guys, or the Capricorn, has locking tuners. Getting a good workout going back and forth lifting these things. What else? Color, well, that's whatever. This is called vintage yellow. It's more of a banana yellow on the Jet. This is a pearl white, which is a pearlized white with a metallic flake. Very attractive, in my opinion. Also, on the Jet, you can see it's got this interesting contour on the body, whereas the Jet Strat is more of a straightforward Fender-looking Strat. Those are really the differences now of the guitar. Now, in my opinion, one versus the other, positives and minuses of both. And there are pluses and minuses of both of these guitars. If you're looking for something that is more modern, akin to maybe a Schecter, an Ibanez, something like that, but yet still is a Strat-ish type guitar, and you're looking for an HSS configuration, then I would steer you more towards the MMUSI. It's more of a modern looking guitar and modern feeling guitar with the compound radius, the body contours, the whole bit. However, if you're looking for that classic Strat style guitar, you're a purist and you want something as close to that Fender as you can get in looks, then you might want to go with this guy, because it is a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more akin to a true Fender shape than the Capricorn is, because of the way the body is, the thickness of the body, the shaping. There's no other extra contours or anything else. It pretty much stays true to form. However, you know, it's not totally like a Strat in that it only has one tone as opposed to two. And the the input jack is at the base of the guitar, right here on the side of the guitar, I should say, as opposed to the front, where a true Strat has it. So there are little differences, but it's a little bit more classic in styling than the Westbrook. Boy, here I go, right? Than the Capricorn, probably by design. That's more of a modern guitar. Neck feel. This, as I mentioned before, is a slightly thicker neck, more full, rounded C, modern C. This has a thinner neck, and it becomes flatter as you play into this area of the guitar, the higher area of the guitar. My personal preference is I like the neck feel on the MMUSI better than I do on the Jet. But if you're somebody that doesn't like a thin neck and likes more of a rounded neck shape and a fuller neck shape, then you'll probably go for the Jet. It's all in what you like. Pickups. Well, these are ceramic pickups on the Jet. These are Alnico pickups on the MMUSI Capricorn. Now, it kind of goes against science and logic to some extent. You would think that these guys are going to be significantly hotter because they're ceramics than the Alnico pickups. However, it's kind of the opposite on these guitars. If you're looking for glassy, Strat-like cleans, pure sounding cleans, I would go with I'm pointing to the wrong guitar. I would go with the Jet. The Jet has, in my opinion, glassier, more Strat-like tones on cleans. However, if you want more of a bite, more edge on the heavier stuff, on the distorted tones, that humbucker is a lot hotter than the humbucker on the Jet. The Capricorn's humbucker has a lot of bite, and even though it's not rated extremely high from an output standpoint, it puts out a lot. So distortion, I'm giving it to the Capricorn. Clean tones, I'm giving it to the Jet JS-400. The other plus I mentioned earlier already is this guy, the Capricorn, has a coil split. That guy doesn't. If you use coil splits, it might matter to you. If you don't, it's a non-factor. The bridge on the Capricorn is more solid in my opinion. It's a better bridge. The stainless steel frets are rounded on the Capricorn. It's a smoother feeling neck than the Jet. It's a better fret job in my opinion. The tuners are locking tuners, if that matters to you. Again, both tuners are fine on both guitars. I wouldn't say these tuners are any better than tuners on the Jet, in all fairness, from a tuning stability standpoint. However, they claim that when you're restringing a guitar, locking tuners are easier for you to restring. Whatever. You want to give that a benefit over the other one, you can certainly do that. From a convenience standpoint and doing adjustments, I always like a truss rod that's accessible through that wheel on the Capricorn, the wheel truss rod at the base of the neck as opposed to on the headstock. The Jet does not have that, does not offer that. So those are the major differences in my opinion. Again, the Jet is slightly lighter than the Capricorn, not by much, by about 6 ounces. And that's really it, guys. those are the major compare and contrast points of both guitars. It's really up to you as to which one you like and what you think is a better buy, better instrument. Now, from a pricing standpoint, the Jet, I said, is a current model. You're going to still find these for about $199 new. Some stores sell them for more. Some sell them for, with shipping included, so you have to take that into account too, and it's probably going to cost you around $250 new for this guy, for the Jet. For the Capricorn, I got this through clearance, so I paid like $135 for the guitar, out the door, free shipping, no tax, and it's not a brand new guitar. It came with... it was probably a return or anything because it came with neck stress cracks on both sides of the neck. But it was still a great value for the price. But you can't buy these anymore. They're not being sold new. So that's a major difference between the two instruments. But if you like these videos, guys, please subscribe. If you find them interesting, please subscribe. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. And as always, until the next time, be well, see you soon. Have a great day.